turn it to you?
I tell you what, we'd like it very slightly lower down. If we were to
All right,
turn
this
that
is
on
a
its
tall one.
side.
There's lower one.
There's a lower. Let's try
Lower
that
one.
one.
It's just a taller one. Low stool.
That's better.
Is that how you got to be comfortable there?
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it.
Yes, that's fine. That's much better. But the two gentlemen sitting can relax a little. Yeah, that's it.
That was one.
So cute since you're relaxed.
I mean, that was much easier.
How you doing, Joe? No, it's the brothers is.
Yeah, when they start, they don't want anybody directly behind the couch.
Yeah.
Is this all right?
Yeah, I think if you can move perhaps just to your right a bit. I then got lots. That's fine. That's fine. Anybody behind you there is okay. It's just in case someone gets animated and they lean forward. If someone lean forward, I might just catch you, but you're safe there.
There's some animated speakers.
Give me your meat, I'll pop it on the drawer and phone.
Brother Love, if I ask you any questions which may ability for you to defend yourself and answer some of your critics.
We're all on you, Jim.
I want to put that. You want to put that on the floor?
You'll see what a lot of times when the people come to Star Island and they start asking what's considered provocative questions, especially economic questions, it's really hard to explain. You're sitting on Star Island and it's hard to show the source. But it's not hard here.
Yes.
It's not hard at all.
More natural understanding. Look upon the
Go, here comes the wall. Don't want anybody behind the couch. You're on this part or on that part?
No, using double ones. Mine, don't step in there. I'll zoom out. Let me show it to me. You'll see 7. Yeah, thank you. He goes first.
Joe, did you get a camera taken yet?
Yes.
Don't need it now, it's just Michelle needs to know. Have we got any other papers in there?
I'll leave that for Tommy.
If I have to walk out, I only walk out.
I should say that's fine. We do have to live with that. Can you go behind the television? So that's it. As long as you're past the television, you're okay, and that green pillar, that's a bit fine. Right.
Around the great black road.
Is it possible to stop the children? Everybody else is fine. The ones here in the back room there.
Just the noise.
Start again.
I'm ready.
So when? And if you always talk to Jean. Brother Ronnie. Who's brother Ronnie?
Who's that? Go see if we can find the white uniform. Yeah, Cosmo.
Okay, fine. Do you have to know that? You're going to have to live with it, won't you?
Well, we can ask them to be as quiet as possible.
Yeah. Sister, can you tell them to try to keep the picking noise down? We're going to have to shift them for a while.
Get out of the house. Yes, we're ready, I think.
Yes, I'm
Is
ready.
everybody else ready?
Rick. Yeah, don't make anybody walk through there.
Actually, can you make it the edge of this side of the television, please? Yeah, there, you're safe there. Thank you very much. Okay, Joe? You better get some noise now. Turn over, Joe. Mark it.
CBS News, roll 7, take 1.
Brother Keith, what exactly is the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church?
The redemption of human soul. The reviving of God Marala unto the inhabitants.
Why is it different from any other church? How does your religion differ?
You see, it is no difference. If the people transgress God's law, that's why it look different. Because the people change the law of God and turn to the law of man. You can't become No. That's the point.
What did Brother Wally say?
Well, we just asked if you could say something now.
Please.
Huh?
You wanted to say something else?
Or brother wants to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Brother Wally.
Yeah. Twas the church that was about
Toward the church that you asked about.
Rastaman. The church of Rastaman is a living man.
The church
of God, the living man.
The church of the
The other
Rastaman.
church worship a synagogue and call it a church.
The religions worship a synagogue,
Synagogue
and call
it a church.
the church of the Rastaman is the church of the
the
living man,
God.
of the living God, not the God of wood and stone.
So you would consider yourself part of the movement of Rastafari?
Huh? We are the house of God. Man is the tabernacle of God, living
Right.
God. So when you see me, you see my Father. And so keep my commandment and live.
But so that I can be clear about this, the movement of Rastafari.
No, definitely not. The Coptic Church is unique by itself. We don't join with anyone or support anyone or ask anyone for their support. She's asking if we're the same as the Rastafari Movement Association, which is the dreadlocks.
No.
That's a political foundation. We have nothing to do with that.
But Brother Wally refers to himself as a Rastaman.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's
And what does he understand by Rastaman?
Huh?
What do you understand by the word Rastaman?
Rastafari is the new name. He will have a new name in that land. We're in our land.
The scripture says that God will have a new name.
That land. We find ourselves into a land.
And the black people
New land.
find themselves in a new land. They're Africans, and they find themselves in a new land, and they find the new name of God is Rastafari. The scripture said God had a secret name. written that no men knew,
You see,
saving he himself,
instead,
and he
Reveal it.
who to whom he revealed it to. And they're now revealing what Lovett Williams revealed to them concerning the nature of God and the nature of man.
The black man is in a strange land here in Jamaica.
Yes, he's in exile.
Not only in Jamaica.
not
Throughout
Jamaica.
the world.
Anywhere you see
You
a
see-
black man, you know he's an African.
Great Britain know the rights of Africa. Great Britain begin the slave trade in Africa and take out the people and bring them to the Western Hemisphere and sell them out to all the different countries that run slavery. So Britain know the rights of the people. That's why the Queen handed down a constitution to rehabilitate the people every 5 years, and the politicians them conspire against that
20 million sterling.
and turn the people back to slavery
Yeah.
and religion and politics and commerce.
So if the black man is in a strange land, is it necessary for him to return home, to return to Africa?
Sure.
Africa for the African, those at home and those abroad.
But Africa is the people.
When they say they robbed Africa's wealth, this is the wealth they robbed.
You see,
They took the people from Africa.
They rob their wealth, they rob their culture, they rob you of everything.
Remember, the black people were not slaves in Africa. They were carried into the Western Hemisphere as slaves, yet in Africa they were prophets, priests, kings, men of great skill and owned great lands and farms, but they weren't slaves there. So now these men, as the descendants of the Africans, want to know what happened to their wealth,
See there.
what happened to their inheritance, because they don't find it here. That's not being given. Nothing is being given to them by the politicians. Politicians are asking for tax.
So do you see the return home to Africa as imminent? Is it something that's
You
likely
see-
to happen in your lifetime?
God made a promise to his people and a time by the reason of great importance why God laid down his life as a substitutional sacrifice
There's
to
a
redeem man from sin and death.
There's a reason of great importance why God laid down his life as a substitutional sacrifice to redeem man from sin and death.
and they,
Not just white man or black man, all men.
all man.
And in this time we see the fulfillment of that purpose.
And in this time we see the fulfillment of that purpose when all men gather together and partake of one communion, of one blessing.
One spirit.
Is the black man, do you consider the black man superior to the white man? What is the special role of the black man?
God never tell no one that, so that no one superior over the other.
God never told anyone that one was superior over the other. But remember, the black man has never been able to afford the riches of the world, the education of the world, or the corruption of the world. So the black man in his poor, humble estate has only claimed the Bible and the ganja. And with that, he's able to civilize and Christianize himself and his people.
What is the importance of ganja?
The spirit of communion, one towards another.
Could I ask you that again,
Ganja.
Brother Keith? I'm sorry, the camera isn't on you.
Ganja,
What is the significance
Ganja.
of ganja?
Ga-
for you?
talk again.
What is the significance of ganja?
What is the meaning of ganja to the church?
To the church. Is the blood and body of Jesus Christ.
It's the blood.
Ganja.
Ganja is the blood and body of Jesus Christ.
Them call it ganja.
It's a herb.
It is it's a herb. The politicians call it ganja.
Male and female.
It's a herb that comes both male and female. It's a natural creation and a gift from God.
And it is necessary to your religion to smoke it?
Yes. but
Not to
that's
smoke
also
it alone. Not to smoke it alone. Many use. Then even in their government, them say they're going to take it like oil to drop in oil. To cure oil.
It's not
We
smoking
gotta
alone. It
give
has
herb to man for the healing of the
Of the
nation.
nation.
in there.
It's a healing herb and a medicinal herb that has many uses, not just the smoking. For even their government claims now they're going to take the ganja and make an oil from the ganja to make eye drops to fight
Healing
glaucoma,
nation.
to heal another form of
Glaucoma.
healing, to heal the
Spiritual
glaucoma.
healing and physical healing.
But the ganja has got you into trouble with the authorities. Here.
You see, these authorities are the people who conspire against the rights of humanity, tamper upon divine laws, and broke the ever-living covenant.
These same ones who are supposed to be giving the trouble are the same ones that have tampered with divine laws and have broken the ever-living covenant that exists between God and his people. And these same ones have been leading the people away from God.
I'll tell you something, who make ganja?
Who make the ganja? He asked you that.
Presumably God makes the
See
ganja.
it there? Who make you?
Who make you?
God as well.
See it there? So what is the dispute?
So what is the dispute between man and
And
ganja?
ganja.
But the authorities would say that ganja is harmful for you. That it,
Tell him to bring one man come
Come.
show you with her.
Who time?
Tell him what?
Tell him to bring one man before you who ganja has harmed.
Tell him to come himself
Tell him to...
with a ton of ganja and make the two of we sit down and we're going to use ganja and see which one of we harm.
Make whoever
Give my
says
ton.
that. Make whoever says
Who
that.
said that?
Come bring a ton of ganja. And that man and Brother Wally will sit down and use that ton of ganja.
Yeah.
And see which one gets harmed.
Then try use among we until now you see anyone get hurt. I
From,
wanna stop burn.
from you've been amongst us until now, have you seen anyone get hurt? And you've seen we don't stop smoke?
No, sir.
Man, woman, young, old,
Even now, give me my pipe.
even now.
Yes,
Come
Now,
on.
see.
This is to prove that ganja does not hurt you.
How long has Brother Wally been smoking ganja?
How long have you been smoking ganja?
You see, you see some little youth around me?
You see some of the little youth that are around him?
You see? From me, they do a size, me I smoke. Me.
From he is the size of the same
Now
size
smoke, me I smoke ganja.
as the same little boys you saw in the middle yesterday. When he, from that time, he was that size.
Yeah.
Right there.
One holy name we bless with.
Take one holy food.
All right.
You see, God has made a promise to the generation that He's going to pour out His Spirit upon all flesh. And
God-
sons and daughters must prophesy.
God made a promise to this generation that he would pour out his spirit upon all flesh, and his sons and daughters would prophesy in his name. So now when you hear the name of God, you hear it coming from man, declaring the glory of his Father. Not something that man has done with his own hands, but we're declaring and showing the blessing of our Father.
Declaring the redemption of the people.
That through the keeping of the commandments, whatsoever we put our hands to is blessed.
Who do you believe is God, though?
Sorry.
Sorry, we're out of film. We're out of film. Excuse me,
They
we
have to change the
wait.
film and the camera. They have short film. They take one off.
Thank you.
She asked.
It's going very well.
As long as we're
It
patient.
just lasts 10 minutes, and we have to change.
Who do you believe is God? Who do you believe is God? Who do you believe is God?
That's the question she asked.
Who do I believe? I have to ask them.
It's not who we believe is God, it's who we know is God.
And the truth is just
Well,
the
you can
truth.
believe anyone is God.
Yes, you have to know. You have to know I
See and know
God, but
that I am He.
Natural thing.
God is black man's birthright.
This way.
All right. Brother Love, if when, say, Brother Keith or Brother Wally answers, if you could let them talk for a while and then translate to me,
The whole.
because
The concept.
at the moment it's a little jagged and Norman is having difficulty moving from face to face. So if you let them talk for quite a while and then sort of
And I
explain.
think, was it 5-6 months?
5-3. Going up to 5.
And I think in that way, because I think if we get away with the real answer, it's better. And so we'll have both. We'll have your translation and the real answer. The real answer to me through the camera seems to be working.
Okay, good.
I can understand. But but we'll have the translation. If it's a short one, probably don't bother. If it's a longer, more involved one, okay. All right, you ready? Was it perhaps?
It's about 5:35.
I'm going to start with a question now to Brother Love himself. So,
Okay, Joseph?
Well, Brother Wally said he was ready for the last question.
oh, was he? All right, I'm sorry. Brother Wally. He's starting Brother Wally.
I just want to check on focus point. That one. Is that where it is?
That's yes.
Right, and that's better over there.
There.
Okay, there we go, John. So now? Mark it.
Okay, CBS. Sorry, CBS News. Roll 8. Take 1.
Ready.
All right.
Huh?
She said, who do you believe is God?
Yes. No. I am not the son of Satan. If you are not the son of God, you must be the son of Satan. It is look right to tell you now that I am the son of Satan. Look within the eye once said.
He is not the son of Satan, and you must either be the son of God or the son of Satan. So he wants to know now, would it look right to you for him to tell you that he was the son of Satan?
But I
Answer that.
Answer that, he said.
would like to know who.
Answer that
No,
one
he wants to
first.
know, when you look inside yourself and consider that question,
If it's right for I to tell you that I am the son of Satan,
Would it be right?
I am the son of God.
would it be right for him to tell you he is the son of Satan?
No.
Oh, well, I am the son of God. Paramount.
But who is God?
Important.
Who is God?
God is man.
God is man. That is of paramount importance.
But is there another God who is not just within man, who is outside, who made man?
God have a body for himself. Then God met man. You want to know how God met man? Huh?
Yes.
Come here.
Call it a little bit.
Stop a second.
To prove how man important in the earth is
Just one
the one man bring boy child and girl child from the same line.
Yeah, cut. I've just cut for a second, sorry.
I'm not sure we can cope with all these extras.
Okay. No, I thought you wanted to.
Yeah, we'll get them in a minute. When we do the wide shot, we'll get them
No,
in.
thank you, if we could, because it's very confusing. Thank you very
No,
much.
it's probably well. Please, to show you how God made every man who's ever been made.
Yeah.
Every man come from that
Man
stage.
met man.
Man met man.
I think it's easier if we show that with the camera
Right.
afterwards.
Later.
So we can cut away.
Thank you.
Thank you, because what we can always illustrate what we're talking
Right.
about. All right. What I would like is that answer of Brother Wally about God there. That I was in very wide shot. I would like to get a close up of it. Who is God? God is the living.
Yes,
Yeah,
could I ask
I'll tell you.
Brother
Okay.
Wally the question again?
Turn over, Joe.
And
Okay, 8. Take 2.
I break my neck.
Brother Wally,
No,
They're going to ask you the same question over again through the camera.
who do you think is God?
God a man.
God is man.
But God has his own form?
Huh?
God has his own form.
Farm.
Yes, form.
God feel the whole world, universal. Anywhere you go, man feed man.
God feed the whole world universal. Anywhere you go, you see man feed man.
Man. If you go look work, you have to go to man.
If you go look for work, you have to go look for
Anything
man.
you want, you have to seek man.
And death, what happens when you die?
Die.
We are just
Sin
sinning
is
death.
death. The gift of God, ever living life.
The wages of sin is death. The gift of God is ever living life.
And when you sin, you go dead.
When you sin, you go dead.
Is
That's
it-
why it's of paramount importance to know the distinction between the Son of God and the Son of Satan.
Satan.
But doesn't every man die?
Huh?
Doesn't every man die?
Once.
Die eternal life to bring and live that death must die. You choose death, you're dead.
God died eternal life to bring, and he live a life that death must die. If you choose to live a life of sin, you must die.
Yeah.
The choice is for you.
But God made a promise to the world. He that keep my commandment will live. And he that transgress the commandment will die.
And it found in everyone, I will not die. I will live forever. I will live forever with my Lord.
But are you saying that if a man dies, it is because he has sinned?
They're not sinning sin.
Yes.
And this is a world of sin.
And sin make you dead.
That's why God come in a sinful world to redeem those who can redeem from sin.
But do you think that you will die, for example?
We're dead already.
Dead already.
We have died already and have come back.
Partake of the resurrection.
We've partaken of this resurrection.
So he that partake of this resurrection, the second death have no power.
But now can you live forever?
By keeping the commandment and live the life of God. And when you live the life of God, you become God.
See there. Perfect.
When you live the life of God, you become God. For you remember, there are the dead people that are dead in the ground, but there are also people walking around every day that are dead to God.
But they have not the knowledge of God.
They have not the knowledge of God, and they live a life of sin, so although they live, they're dead while they live.
Them same one said, let the dead bury their dead.
Brother Love, I'd like to ask you a question. Isn't the Ethiopian Zion Coptic Church a black man's movement? What are white Americans like yourselves and your friends doing in this movement?
God not divide.
This is a universal movement.
See there. For mankind.
God is not divide.
Who make the white man? Who make the white man?
God also. I would like Brother Love to answer. You see, my voice will not be heard, so if I talk too much, it's all going to be cut out, because I am cut out. I want you to talk.
Right. The whole world bears record that a man was crucified for the sins of the whole world. Well, the man they crucified was a black man. And it's through that black man's grace that we all get our blessing, black and white, and China and India. So although the head of the church is black and the source of the church is Africa, the blessing is for all who give their heart and all who partake of the same spirit.
Black and white.
Black and white. Redemption, in other words, redemption has come to all.
All man.
And your church in Miami is part of the church here?
Our life of living is the same wherever we
Not
go.
a part, a whole.
We're not divided.
Never change.
Just getting on a plane.
One
and going.
Lord, one faith, one church.
If this is our life, this is not a religion. It's not something we turn on Sunday morning. This is our life of living, and we live the same way, and we maintain the same steadfastness toward the prayer and the devotion and the spiritual reasoning anywhere we are.
But do you see the black people as the children of Israel, the chosen people?
Yes. And they are in captivity. They've been banished, and now they have to prepare to return, but they cannot return to their promised land as murderers and thieves and whores and drunkards. They have to purify themselves to be able to return.
Yeah.
The repatriation, the movement that you're talking about, is a little political folly. The people have to prepare their hearts for God to lead them back, because it was only through God allowed them to go into captivity that they're in captivity.
So you do not see immediate repatriation. This is something that has to be decided by God when He decides.
God has decided already that the people must stop their sin. That's the first question to solve.
Now see.
Before every government, before every body of men, that is the question, to be able to stop sin. The Pope and Billy Graham say you can't stop sin. You're supposed to sin until you die. They say because you're flesh, you can't stop sin. Well, God made us this way. And God's promise was that His Son laid down His life so that we would have power over sin. That He, without sin, laid down His life so that we sinners could live. So that's the mystery they must solve. To lead the people to God, to prepare their hearts, black and white, all
to a home of peace and safety.
wherever we are, not just Africa or Jamaica, wherever man is.
To many of the Rasta men in Jamaica, Haile Selassie is the living God. Do you believe that?
Haile is a puppet. Haile is a political king.
Earthly king, not heavenly king.
We are dealing with Jesus, the heavenly king, the heavenly redeemer, who come to redeem man's soul from sin and death.
Haile is an earthly puppet.
Earthly king.
He's an earthly political king. We deal with King Jesus, the heavenly king who has come to redeem his people from sin and bondage. But Haile is a political puppet of society.
But don't the Bible declare of Christ and his eternal kingdom?
But doesn't the Bible declare of Christ and his eternal kingdom, where sin will be no more? Well, this is that happy land, where sin will be no more.
The happy people.
The return to perfection. For mankind was once perfect and lost perfection.
You see, and so it was, so it is, must be.
Many of your critics have pointed to the wealth and
No,
the
not
prosperity.
critics. It's not critics.
What are
It's
they?
logical. The commandment is perfect.
You see, foundationally.
No, I'm not sure you understand.
No, she started to say that many of the people who are trying to criticize the church point to what they say is the wealth of the church and say the church isn't supposed to have anything.
You appear to be wealthy and prosperous, and your critics say, where does this money come from? Where do you get it?
Tell me something. When you come up here and look around, you see money.
When you come up here and look around, do you see money?
I see prosperity.
Oh, yes. So where blessing come from?
So where does blessing come from?
The blessing comes from God, presumably.
Good. But him say, God say, if you're obedient to all these laws and these commandments, all these blessings will be upon thee. Him say, open the windows of heaven and pour down blessing where you do have room to take it.
But to more cynical minds, perhaps Brother Love could explain just how the income of the church is divided, how in fact you do seem to have a very prosperous
Your
life.
Father give me
Sorry, you're out of film.
whatsoever the church possess. Your Father give it to him.
I'll ask that question again if I may on the next row.
She has to change the film again. She'll ask that question.
See, in the world, they don't know the power of collectivity. And so it seems strange to them when they see when people come together and hold things in common. It seems as though they have so much more than anything else. But when you come up and you see what man has done with his hands, you don't see what money has done.
You don't see how many men are there. Look around you right here. This is the
Well,
wealth of the church.
perhaps Brother Love could answer this.
And Brother Wally has something he wants to tell you, and then I'll answer.
Yes.
You see how much people gather yesterday?
You see how many people gathered yesterday?
Yes.
So what you think could have impossible for we?
So what is impossible for we with that strength and that power?
But mankind unite one to us.
You don't see how man speaks the word and moves the earth and stirs the earth and gets forth the blessing.
The same blessing that we receive in Jamaica, these brethren receive the same blessing in America.
The same blessing the brothers receive here in Jamaica is the same blessing we receive in America.
And so I will multiply thee.
You see,
And with blessing I will bless thee.
Right. Let's keep it for the film if we may. 'Cause
I want to put it in your moral. I'm gonna go and tell them.
He wants to put it in your spirit and in your moral, so when you go, you can tell
But I'm
others.
only one person, and if it goes on film, 40 million people
Good.
might have a chance of putting it into their spirit.
Get on the film and get
The understanding, the question, you want to give to that. So when we reason with you, then you'll be able to very precisely. You see, they did not know what love could do. That is the whole mystery. They did not know what love could do.
So they will not be taste of a new wine.
So when they see the works of love, government will appear strange.
And then I experience the Zion of hope.
Right, ready? How many people? Roger. Yes.
CBS News, roll 90.
Who are we going to do?
I think Brother Wally. Well, could Brother Wally answer this, and then I would like to... Your critics have said that you seem to be very prosperous, you have a lot of money, the church. From where does this
fruit of your body, blessed is the fruit of whatsoever you put your hands to. Our faith is only in God. It's not in money, it's not in politics or commerce or religion. When a man can take one seed and you plant one pea, and from that one pea you get hundreds of peas. You plant one peanut, and from that one peanut you get hundreds of peanuts. You plant one of those little grains of pimento, and you get a tree with tons of pimento.
So you can't count it.
So when God says that when man will stir the earth and stir up that good gift that is in you, you'll be blessed.
is that where the money, the income is derived from farming?
More than you can count. It multiplies daily. As we're talking, it's increasing. As we're talking, seeds are falling down and sprouts are coming up.
Man out there plant right now.
Some things are being
harvested.
Some is being harvested. There's land being prepared that hasn't been planted yet. There are other people out sowing in one field and reaping in the other. So it can't count. Young cows are being born. Goats are being born while we're talking. So that wealth can't limit.
Again, some of your critics would say that most of your income is derived from big-time ganja smuggling.
They have no record of that. Of all the record they have of any one of these brothers in Jamaica, the entire history of the church, there's never been one charge of cultivation or export or preparing for export. You go ask them that. There's not one record of that. It's always only the same thing.
And using
and possessing the ganja. That is their covetous spirit that's
no
saying
time.
that.
So you categorically deny that the church is involved in smuggling of
And
marijuana
the
to
United States tried to prove it and couldn't prove it.
The United States even tried to prove it and could not prove that. They could only make those wild accusations. And through those accusations, try to be able to cloak on that and come up with a multi-million-dollar tax bill and a $15 million customs bill. That's a joke. When the time came to fight and go before the judge, they withdrew their charges.
Strings up on you.
Why they try to make it look like of no effect.
You see,
Sister,
turn the truth into a lie.
Right.
What's the aim of society is for the people to support what is known as the status quo, which means the religion and the politics and the commerce dictate the lives of the people. Well, for the people to say that for the politicians to let the people know that this was right, would mean that what they're doing is wrong.
You see, some kingdom fall.
So they must try to discourage the people from running that. The same reason they crucified Christ. For Christ said to them, "For which of my works do you stone me?" And they said, "No, it's not for your works. It's that thou, being a man, makest thyself God."
And tell the people the truth. Against society.
And tell the people to live a life dedicated to God, not dedicated to money. You know, from the time you've come here, has anybody showed you any money? Well, we don't deal with that. Our wealth is far beyond what money could comprehend.
But you have cars, presumably, which must be bought with money. You
a
have
necessity.
modern technology that must be
Then look how much people.
Well, how much
little car is foolishness. Just about
Sister,
people.
how much money is in those bags? How much wealth is in those bags of ginger and pimento
I
there?
have no idea.
It's without limit. And when those are done, there's thousands more.
The advancement of knowledge was not for the destruction of mankind.
And another the security. The thing that you interview about is the saving of man's soul, not only.
But the people already know
It's to man to turn from sin and look within the trust in God and do the right.
The importance,
Not money.
the importance and the security you should be looking for is not in the saving of money. It's in the saving of man's soul. To instruct the people to turn from their sinful ways.
That's one another.
That's the importance, to put down the
Take the
gun.
gun and throw them aside.
For-
But them can't save the nation. No gun cannot save the nation.
No
Tell
gun
them
can help
to-
the black people.
Tell them to put the sound, then take away the gun and set the nation free. Like they turn to God.
They're-
Can't turn to God under gun. While you see them with gun, you're going to have trouble.
The people can't turn to God while they still have the gun in their hand. And the people don't make the guns themselves. The guns are brought by the poor people in Jamaica don't have any contacts to get guns. The politicians bring in the guns. Well, the same politicians must instruct the people to put down their guns now.
And turn to them, God.
And turn to their God.
Why are people so suspicious of your church? Why are they so
Which
frightened
people?
of it?
Well, no,
They feel
which
that you're
people?
a dangerous cult.
Of all the people you've seen here.
To that one covetous and deceitful thought. You know, see? Don't want to hear you talk about God.
The poor are not afraid of this, you know.
The poor are not afraid. If you talk to the people here, no one's afraid of this. But the higher elements of society, through their covetous and deceitful thought in themselves, don't want to hear anybody talk about God. Don't want to hear anybody to talk about God and blessing and present that blessing.
They don't see them advertise 2.5 million sodomite and nobody dispute that.
In America, they said that 250,000 homosexuals gathered in San Francisco for what they called their Gay Pride Day or Gay Pride Week. And not a soul disputed that. Not a parson, not anyone called a leader had a thing to say about that.
Who then teach you that Jesus is?
He asked, who do they teach that Jesus is?
They,
Religion.
Religion.
the Son of God.
They no fight against that. Them no fight against that.
Anyone that wants to believe with that,
Then
they don't fight.
drawing on a paper. Them say no have nobody, God no have nobody for yourself yet, but then get body and drawing on a paper show you with a long beard. Same as the Son of God. And he never tell you one day about sin. When the black man, the God of the whole earth, universal, declare himself, them fight against it. Jesus fight against it.
Yeah, if I religion fight Marcus
You know,
Garvey.
see?
The religion of the world tells you about Jesus. They don't tell you that God has a body for himself. Yet they'll take a body and make a picture of it and show you that body with a long beard on it. And if you follow that, they don't instruct you about sin. They just instruct you to give them some money every week and chat one or two words out of the Bible. Well, when the God of the black man declared himself to be God and that he'd come to liberate his people, the ones who talked about Jesus fought against that. So the same ones who you say are our critics are the supporters of Jesus, are the supporters of the society and the religions that hold up society.
By the coming of Rastaman was the end of Caesar's kingdom. Caesar's kingdom ended at the advent of Rastaman.
In 1914.
See there?
So you see for them kingdom they're on borrowed time now.
The time for the politicians to turn the kingdom, the land, and the wealth back to the people has long since come and gone. They're on borrowed time now.
Yeah.
In 1914.
So what will happen now? What do you expect to happen in the near
They must
future?
give up, give the people their rights.
The ones
All
called
along with
leaders.
them love and deal unjust with the people. They must come now and give the people their rights. By then take the people rights and put them in prison, armed house and asylum.
But is it necessary to fight against the politicians?
No, we're not fighting.
Them
We're not
fight
fighting,
against
we're not
themselves.
fighting against any person. We're fighting against sin.
Them fight against themselves
An
already.
individual person.
For them work, prove them. Them oneself.
You see.
Guilty before
You
God.
know, see?
They fight against themselves already. Their own work proves themselves.
I think, yes, I must say, I think that's very good. I'm just wondering,
While you just look at your notes, while you're all sit in this position, I've got one more bit left. I'll do some wide shots of the whole scene.
yes, could you do that?
If you stay there and talk,
Yes.
it gives them an eye line.
All
Joe, if
right.
you can just move the microphone.
We'd like to do some wide
Oh,
shots now,
brothers.
if everybody could just sit exactly where they are.
Yeah.
And I'll,
Just everybody's supposed to stay there if they want to zoom the camera.
Sister, who are these critics?
The critics you were telling me about just 2 days ago.
No, wasn't told you though. No, we are the ones that told you. Is that where you get the critics?
Certainly with the stories that you told me there, but also just talking to various other people in Kingston since we've been here, just a bit of general feeling.
You see that it's often been the way of the governments and the powers to be to try to speak disparagingly of the people's rights. He's standing up for the people's birthright for the ganja. They criticized us and tried to impute iniquity, saying that there was something involved with this or that. Because we stand up for the people's rights to smoke the ganja. That's why we get the opposition.
No, I ask those only simply because people do ask those questions, and if they don't hear you answering them, then they say, well, they didn't ask about such and such, what about it?
You see, to ask about the right of the people.
You see, the answer
as
many of the
people don't have any
people
skill for
Jamaica know
themselves.
the answer to that question.
Yes.
For the people who come from
It's
the
the same
skill.
reason they're fought against. When they have a little slip, put them in jail. Sort of a penalizing mind towards the government.
Sorry, can I interject there? Let me just be listening. Gene, can you talk to the main people? Because in theory, you're listening to what's going on here.
See, Brother Waller's basic thinking is that the important thing now isn't to ask questions. The important thing is to get to know God. To know who God is and what is the will of the Lord. That's the problem. We hear of a United Nations. Yet we see a symbolic United Nations up in New York who claim that they can keep peace through force. Well, we know that's the counterfeit. This is a United Nation. For through this one gospel and this one hope of salvation, you see all nations. You see black man, white man, Indian man, China man. So this is the true United Nations.
Is there an attempt made to gather more brethren to the church?
Yeah, this gone through the universal world. This is a universal movement. Anywhere man is found, they want to partake of truth. Then I see in every country you go, ganja exists there. You ever go in any country and you hear about ganja?
In every country you go, you see ganja exists there. And he asked, have you ever gone to any country in your travels and not found ganja
I
there?
don't think so.
You see.
Look how far you came.
I have to admit, I can't remember seeing any in the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they grow it down in Central Asia there.
The Soviet Union at one time was the biggest grower in the world. For smoking and for rope making.
The Coptic that is not to bring something new on the people. It's to bring them back to something that they are already walking.
Very old.
Something they
leave.
but they left the right to get in their present position. They left the right thing. They disregarded the right thing and glorified the wrong thing.
Then declaration left man.
But sister, if a man gives you a $10 bill, from the minute you get it, that's the most it can be worth, and it starts going down. Because to get something, you have to give it away. Yet when someone gives you 10 kernels of corn, that's only your beginning. Because from those 10, you can get thousands. So from the time that your intellect is based on making money, you're already thinking inferior to how God set man to think, because God set man to think about blessing and about increase. So what we're fighting against is not any politician or any policeman. We're fighting against sin and the ignorance that that leads to. Because if the people are ignorant about the commandments of God, then they'll be ignorant about anything else. That's the first knowledge.
Look at all them food. The banana and the plant is well.
But this world has to, at some point, if supposing one farmer grew all bananas and his down the road, and at some point doesn't money have to exchange hands because each person individually cannot grow all his requirements, or can he?
Creation was before money.
The creation, all the requirements you're talking about, all existed way before money existed. Man solved all those problems long before there was money, and then a certain body of men made money.
But the tractor, for example, didn't exist. Now you need the tractor to farm that hillside to plant bananas or peanuts.
But you can see obviously that we can never eat all the banana we have planted here. So with our excess, we're able to require all that we need.
And for the tractor, we could use the gungo to purchase the tractor. It's only because
Right. If the tractor man would accept coconuts or peas or plantain for a tractor, we'd certainly give it to him. But if we have to go, we're not denying that it will pass through our hands, but that's only through necessity.
So the planting is converted into money.
And the government have, I believe, that ganja as well.
Does the government have a belief that ganja represents wealth?
No, I think the government is very, well, it's very suspicious. I think it thinks that ganja represents bad wealth. That they know there's money attached to it because there's...
Like what is the bad wealth?
The bad wealth is because it is illegal. People, it is illegal. The government themselves make it illegal. So that a lot of...
Well, wait.
Who let the ganja?
We're at a critical point now. Now, you just said the government made it illegal.
Yes.
And he asked you, well, who made it?
Well, God made the ganja.
So who gave you what the government? The government is a transgressor. Human rights.
Political government are transgressors.
Nation is them kill the 10 Commandments.
It can start against the rights of humanity.
And bringing Colombians to rule the people.
Right, by force.
And brought in the anti-gun
After Queen Victoria abolished slavery, she handed down the Bible and the hymn book to civilize and Christianize the people. And the politicians put to that and bring the gun and prison.
And bring politics.
The laws against ganja are not divine. They're political.
That's why the people don't obey that law. Fight is no law.
That's not a law, that's what we're commandment.
It's impossible to pass a law and try to tell a natural bushman who was given ganja feeding as a baby when he had a cold, and so was his parents and his parents, that it's wrong. He doesn't believe it. It's like me telling you that your father was evil. He's not going to
A society has a free market.
It's poison.
You tell you how much ganja value.
Every time you hear that the police say they find some ganja, they talk about a market. A free market that they must know about because they always say, we found so much ganja and it's worth so much money on the free market.
So they have a free market.
Well, the people don't know anything about that.
Rasta man have the free market.
The Rasta man, the
Only
Bushman,
free market that Rasta man is to smoke the ganja. To what? That.
We're free to partake of the
Free.
sacrament.
Everyone.
That's why they say that we sell it.
right.
Nothing.
But the market is when they smoke it.
The thing that plant and grow, who make it illegal?
The thing that plants and grows, who has the power to make that illegal?
What would happen if they say they said, what is your favorite? You like to eat corn? What would happen if they passed a law against corn and tomatoes?
Somebody offered you
How
one.
would you feel about that law?
Well, what of course it does is to throw the people who make that law into disrepute.
You see, it's a political oppression. It's not a law against anything wrong, it's oppression against those people that would partake of that. And since it's the black man's birthright, it's against the black race that is focused upon at all times.
Laws, I think, can only be kept if people have an innate respect for
All
them.
right, sister, if you hear
See
that a
it
mayor's
there,
on,
if they know
can
that
a
it's
murderer
right.
call you to his house and say, I'm going to show you what I do, and murder someone in front of you?
Would a murder show you that?
Can a robber call you and say, come, I want to make you film me make a robbery? Well, here we are. We have nothing to hide. The world says this is our crime. This is our, to us, this is our sacrament. This is our commitment.
You must be the victim since we've all been here smoking before and you're the only new ones here. You must be the victim of our crime.
You see, there are certain myths about ganja that we would love to dispel. And those myths are such things as that ganja would lead to no children and lead to confusion and crime. So here you see a life of living for which ganja is a sacrament and a blessing. And you see the righteousness of the Bible. So this counteracts any thought that anyone had that ganja would cause crime. In fact, it causes a spirit of unity amongst the people, which is what you see in Jamaica. Blessing 4/4. And that the politicians couldn't bring, and that's why they fight against us. Because we declare a divine ganja government, a moral government that's higher than politics. You see it, a spiritual, moral government amongst all races, not a political government. And so for that fact...
And that's going to be in this government.
Why are the authorities so opposed to ganja? Just why?
They are not for the people's rights.
You see, if then the people free to ganja, The Mahastal couldn't exist. And them courthouse couldn't exist.
Their prisons are full of ganja people.
And the people more than that.
You see it?
Remember, the people in Jamaica are affected by the conspiracy of America and the American government against ganja. For when Britain ruled Jamaica, ganja wasn't illegal.
No.
It was only illegal 40 years ago.
The United Nations conspiracy.
When they found that they didn't want the people to use their natural herb science for their healing. They brought in drugs and made the herbs illegal and brought in the propaganda that it caused craziness.
All the drugs. Why do people do you
Anyhow the herbs were free to the people, the hospital would have to close down. The courthouse would have to close down.
The drugstore closed
In
down.
Jamaica and America, the same way. In America, the most common case in court is the
Yes,
ganja case.
I'd like to just repeat some of these questions and get some more of this about ganja on film, if you don't mind.
The true
I've only got time
understanding
for
of
that one. I think we haven't got all over.
Where are we? Just the people on the set here?
Yes.
Right, Joe, get in there and stay in front. Sorry. Okay, very good.
It's really a question to Brother Love. We don't have a lot of footage, but I would just like to ask you,
Tell her, Joe.
why is ganja so important to the church?
Ganja is the spirit of the Almighty God, sent forth to all the earth.
Ganja is the spirit of the Almighty God sent forth throughout all the earth.
Healing of the nation.
But I find it in every nation.
It's for the healing of the nations, and that's why you find it in every nation. Ganja is the communion of the people.
The spirit of redemption.
Forgiveness of sin and the resurrection of the body and life of a living.
opening man's miracle.
Why are the authorities so opposed to it, do you suppose?
Because of our kingdom, our government against the truth. Them is the opposer against Jehovah's kingdom.
Because they have
is the foundation of Jehovah's kingdom.
They have a government that's against the truth.
Why then no fight against alcohol?
Because alcohol is part of the kingdom that fights against the ganja.
Satan kingdom.
Satan's kingdom is fighting against the kingdom of God.
So these politicians are Satan.
In the prophecy, God says that I will raise up for them a plant
Then
of
you know
renown.
that the ganja is the God and the alcohol is the Satan.
Poor fire.
They know that the alcohol is for Satan.
But then you write upon the license that you're not to curse no bad language under the spirit license. What license, what spirit are the alcohol carry?
A demon spirit.
Demon spirit.
They give you a spirit license to handle alcohol. Well, what type of spirit is there in alcohol? It's a demon spirit, a drunken, murderous, bloodshed, a lustful spirit. That's not in the ganja. In the ganja, there's a spirit to gather and to commune and to pray.
Spirit of forgiveness.
A spirit of forgiveness and a spirit of mercy.
Blessed communion, fellowship divine, and glory shine.
It's a blessed communion and a fellowship divine.
When we read, when we chant, when we pray, there's an upliftment of spirit unto heavenly calling, as we commune one with another in the true and living way of the true and living God.
Holy and acceptable unto God.
So this is our daily meditation, to dedicate our heart unto our Maker.
We just had a film here, but
They are also the redeemed.
I think I've got enough shots.
God is able to unite a troubled world.
Redemption lies good.
Come up
It's a
there.
little bit different.
Well, and there is good. Body of Christ.
You can't be invested.
And we sit down. It's a good night. I report on that.
She said that.
Comes down there.
at the same time, I feel like I'm confident.
I think we have a bunch of everyone. There's also that other pictures.
It's just you don't ask anybody about
I think it's just discussing it. One never has enough really. Gone all day.
Whether we've got it. It's always difficult to do so many people, you know, can we catch it and can we use the shots?
You see, there's something they can't figure out. And it's a mystery that various people would like to know, because they see that a certain generation is taking it up wholeheartedly. So when you see that phenomenon, you see that that's the foundation of a nation. Like you're from England, you know people that smoke, Africa, all over. But we represent a very important foundation. So that's why the mystery of the nation is important, and they want to try to do it. If they could figure out why people loved it, then they could
obviously the farm now.
Who's that, Mark?
No, you know. But I said, no.
Brother Wally, thank you very much. Love.
Thank you.
You see you get a new name. You see you get a new name.
My name. Love, that's right.
It's a new name. You see, by the knowledge where you gain, you inspire through society.
Oh yes, yes.